All right, hey, get in here. We're suing the Trump administration.
So we're working in partnership with our incredible Attorney General and taking the necessary next steps to protect Marylanders and their community from this Trump-Vance administration ICE operation.
You know what? Seems to me like Wes is trying to change the conversation. Nah, man. Get back to talking about the energy bills. Then we talk about ICE. Energy bill.
Next up with Tim Black.
I live alone. There is no reason why my 1 month bill should be $675 when the house is pitch black. When we talk about these data centers, there is no question that the reason why our bills are as high as they are is because you've got these multi-billion-dollar corporations, Meta, Amazon, who come into our communities, who take all of their money and use it, don't pay a dime in taxes, and this is why our bills are the way that they are. We are making all the concessions as consumers in terms of what we can do to lower our bill. Lights, no heat. We're going to bed at night. I go to bed at night with no heat on at all. I turn my heat off at night and get in the bed so that my heat doesn't run all night long. When will the elected officials, our local Prince George's County officials, take our fight to Annapolis and then take our fight to the governor, who will then take our fight to the feds? We know that multi-billion-dollar corporations don't pay a dime, and this is why we are suffering. Our quality of life is in the toilet because the people who have been elected to represent us, you guys are not doing your job. Too many people have died, who have been hung and beaten to have a seat at the table, and now you've got 90% of black people running this government, and you guys are treating us the same way we would be treated if we were still back in Jim Crow and 50s. You're not doing your job, and that's the bottom.
I agree with this message. It is the energy bills have been higher.
This is not right.
Energy policy has been one of several key priorities Governor Moore's tried to advance during his time leading Maryland. Months after taking office, he announced a green energy agenda.
And listen, I have said it before, I will say it again. This is going to be Maryland's decade. Maryland is going to be the home and the leader in offshore wind in this country.
We pressed Moore last week if his green energy agenda was to blame for a more than 1,000% surge in the region's capacity price auction since 2023. Capacity auction pricing makes up a small portion of Marylanders' electricity bills, which consists of several variables. Look, do you believe that your green agenda is disrupting the state energy marketplace and causing more expense for Marylanders in a tough economic situation?
Not at all. And there's no data that can actually reinforce that being able to say we believe in solar and wind and nuclear and all the above energy assets, that in any way is actually hurting ratepayers.
After PJM told us last week that existing supply has been leaving the system due primarily to state and federal decarbonization policies and some economics, we pressed the governor once again, this time on his lawsuit threats and how his green energy agenda may be playing a role in higher costs. Governor, on the event, you said that you're leading the charge to sue PJM, something that we haven't heard before yet at this point. But PJM saying as recently as last week that it's your policies and decarbonization policies that's to blame for the cost.
No.
Why not switch course like New York State and other states and drive down costs for consumers?
No, it is very clear and it's well documented that we are working and supporting the lawsuit against PJM that's happening with these other states. And one thing we know is that there is no data that shows what PJM is saying is true. What we do know is that PJM has a process that continues to thwart any type of new developments, that PJM has a process that is not transparent, that PJM has a process that frankly is making it more difficult for our farmers, and they have a process where they're working with all these other states that's making it more complicated, where they're drawing up a map and then basically looking at our states like people don't actually even live there. And so I'm standing right alongside the other governors of these other states within PJM, saying PJM has got to change their process, because they are the reason that we continue watching so many of these challenges when it comes to increased energy costs and when it comes to a lack of transparency to a lot of our farmers who are getting hosed right now. What PJM has laid out is a slap in the face.
And Governor, just to follow up on that, though, power plants are closing in the state of Maryland. Isn't that driving up costs because of decarbonization policies?
No, I'm very clear that I want to have an all-of-the-above approach when it comes to energy.
It is what it is. And it's Maryland resident, you know, when you complain about it, people get upset because Wes Moore's black. But if it was Larry Hogan, the white guy, and you complain, they'd be fine with it. It's like this allegiance to someone just because they're black. It's not, dog, we're talking about money. And I'm telling you, sometimes it's like these officials, they use that to their benefit. They underperform for us. Wes Moore puts on the face. He leans into his blackness when it's necessary. Same way Obama did. That's one of the reasons why I'm turned off by him. You lean into this stuff, and then, but on the other end, what do we get in return for it? In return, we're not getting much out of it other than style, words, rhetoric, imagery. But at the end of the day, that's it. And family, that's not what's going to keep our bills low. It's not going to make it more affordable for us to raise our children or to live indoors just because we get to see Wes Moore and his family. It's up to us to be cognizant, aware, and be more progressive in our thoughts in the way that we operate, in the way that we elect these officials. To say, you know what, I can separate the fact that there's a certain amount of pride that you feel knowing where black people have come from in this country and where we're trying to get to. And that's fine. But that never should trump competency. That never should trump affordability. That should never trump our safety, right? In fact, we should demand more from Wes Moore because we give more to Wes Moore. You understand what I'm saying? It's like we do the opposite. We give more, they give us less in return. And I think psychologically they're like, well, I'm the prize. And I'm saying, now, take my prize back. I don't want my prize. I don't want the prize. I want my energy rates lower. I want our taxes lower. I want those damn fees at the damn MVA lower. You understand what I'm saying? These are the things we demand of you. And see, the problem is when you have somebody like me saying something that pointed, that direct, that real, we're going to also have a bunch of zombies coming over the hill who are programmed to defend the worst policies. For some reason, they don't understand that sellouts are not just black Republicans, black Democrats are sellout too. And until we can wrap that around in our heads that Tim Scott and Cory Booker are both sellouts, until you realize that, we got nothing. Performance should matter. So this brother's talking about the energy bills, the rising cost of energy in his state. It's the same way when I'm seeing people talk to Gavin Newsom over there in California. Why is this guy even a consideration for a position of being the nominee for the Democratic Party when he can't fix his state? Who does he blame his state on? Like, and who does Wes Moore blame his state on? Is it performing better than before or less? Is it better off or worse off with Wes Moore? I think it's worse off. Is California better run because Gavin's there? Is he doing a great job? No. So why would anybody even consider them if it wasn't for Wes Moore as a young black guy? He reminds me of Obama. Gavin Newsom, people say he looks handsome. Dog, these are dumb reasons to elect officials. Performance should be what's most important. All right, anyway, I just want to put that in because I did a video about Wes Moore, and I talked about the cost in Maryland going up. And as a Marylander, I can speak to that because I'm looking at the fucking cost. And still I have zombies who don't even live in Maryland, who don't know anything about costs going up in Maryland, defending a guy that they don't know, that they didn't vote for, in a state they don't reside, who don't even know anything, but are jumping the conversation defending the Democrat for no reason. But when it was a Republican and we wanted to call his ass out, you were fine with that. It's like, it's just trying to get people's minds out of being stuck in the same. What can you do? Can't fix stupid. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be people that get it and people that don't. You know, when that energy bill comes, and you can't afford that shit, that's it. When your electric gets cut off, yeah. You ever had your electric cut off?
Gas and
We need to be able to look at a variety of different options because right now you're seeing a challenge of a supply and demand curve that we continue watching increased demand, but we continue to watch suppressed supply. So we have to be able to increase supply and look at all various options to be able to increase supply in the state of Maryland.
Catch Tim Black live on the most dangerous show in America, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. Don't miss out on the real. Stay dangerous.